My buddy Mateo was here, the last 4 days? He left this morning. It's a dude I met at a Tantra retreat in Colombia. We're in Colombia. He's Colombian. I'm definitely not. Feel pretty Colombian after living here nearly a decade, moving back to the States in a few months here. And he's been a really, really, really dear friend for the last, I don't know, it's been 8 years or something. 7 years. And I always really enjoy spending time with him. Like, he's a really special guy. There's a level of conversation that I don't have with very many people. And we're sitting there and we're talking. And we were talking about how important it is to have peer group or who you're surrounding yourself with, or also these personal development or spiritual environments, what they look like versus what they are. And something popped in my mind. I've never said it before, and I just said it. I'm like, that would be an interesting video to go into. Like, are the friends you're around, your homies, your peer circle, are these guys that are building sandcastles, or are they building skyscrapers? When I think of skyscrapers, I think of my friend, I won't say his last name, my buddy John, who's building a large business, international business. Sometimes he's got a lot on his plate, pretty stressed out, but he keeps building and building and building and building. And I think of cultures, I call it Medellin-itis or Miami syndrome, where guys can make a lot of money in something where they don't have a connection to, a purpose to, especially cities like that. Those are on two different financial scales. The money you need to live well in Medellin and Miami are way different. I'm living in Medellin right now. I'm moving to Miami in a few months or 6 months here. And sometimes as guys, we can get confused. We can have something that makes a lot of money or gives us the illusion that we're building something because we're good at it. Maybe it's even misaligned with our values, but we're like, hey, I sell this product and I make a lot of fucking money. Okay, that's cool. There are consequences to that. Not some spiritual metaphysical thing, even though there's that too. There's consequences of your own mind and your relationship between you and you, not to tell you what you should do. And a challenging thing when us as guys, we make a lot of money and it's not purposeful, or if you have Miami syndrome or Medellin-itis, we feel like we're the king, and specifically around dating around, sleeping around, and there's a hollowness, there's a sense of emptiness inside of us. I would have never identified as a sex addict. I don't even know, I guess I would look at some clinical diagnosis. I was someone that was numbing out and meeting my needs through sex. And when we have money, especially, they don't have a deep connection to purpose to. And when we have skyscraper money, but we're building sandcastles, and so are the dudes around us. Like, you know what I mean when I see, it's not a judgment, but like dudes in Miami where everyone has kind of the same McLaren or Lamborghini. They all have, maybe they got a solid gold Rolex to start out, or they have a paid for or rented or whatever payment plan. What's it called? Richard Mille. Usually a bunch of tattoos, 2 sleeves, upper half of the chest, sometimes the legs. And we can be living in a life where we don't know how incongruent we are, where we're surrendering to the hypnosis of the culture. Again, I'm American, been living in Medellin for nearly a decade, moving to Miami. Every culture has its own cultural hypnosis, city by city, country by country. Who are you spending your time with? It can be really uncomfortable to start to realize dudes that you think are in your circle are actually going to become your barbecue friends. What do I mean by that? I mean someone that you talk to on a regular basis, that maybe they have loyalty, so they've been in your life for 5, 10, 20 years, that you realize, man, I'm not where I want to be, but I've really fucking grown, bro. I've done a lot to improve myself. I've read books, I went to seminars, I worked with a coach, therapist, maybe I've worked with plant medicine, I'm working out. Okay, maybe I got fat, but I'm working out again, I'm doing this new thing. I'm doing something. And we got a friend from past work, career, relationship, family connections, high school, college, that they're kind of friendships of convenience. And there's a part of us that feels disloyal or even dishonorable of like, what do I just tell this guy we're not friends anymore? And what I found is there's levels to friendship. Certain people, have you ever had someone in your life where they like kind of think you're like their best friend, but you're not? But they're kind of like, hey John, good to see you. Crazy, yeah. And you're kind of like, oh, this guy always gets a little weird around me. Or maybe you've been that guy, I don't know. Guilty as charged, man, I've been both. So sometimes we're just hanging around with people that are a bit off in our hierarchy. And sometimes someone you thought was your ride or die homie, that they were gonna be there for you, you realize you're building a relationship or you're trying to, or you're doing this new biohacking thing that the average person thinks is fucking crazy, but you're getting great results even though it's hard, or you're reading these books and you're learning these things, you're putting things into action. The reality is, as the more dedicated, the more committed, the more reverence you have for your journey, for your personal development path, the less people you can roll with. And it can feel dishonorable or disloyal, like, man, this guy's been my homie for a decade. And I invite you to consider something. I challenge you even to go, if that relationship really no longer serves on that level of connection, where you're talking, connecting on a regular basis, what will be the consequences between you and you if you stay in that? There's that old corny thing, but it's true, that our average income is the mean income of our 5 closest friends. You could take happiness, you could take relationship, you could call it healthy sex, you could call it potential for building a healthy family in the future. The people you're talking to regularly will affect and infect you. They could infect you with inspiration, growth, love, open your heart, grab your balls, roar like a fucking lion. Or they could bitch about the government. They could tell you how unfair things are. I remember back in 2012, 3 years after starting working with coaches, going to seminars, reading books, not knowing really what the fuck I was doing, quite honestly, but I was doing something. 3 years, went to my first seminar in 2009 and was like, yeah, there's a different kind of life out there. There's a lot more possibility. And my story is a little extreme. Maybe you can relate, probably not. I saw 2 people who were, one friend was a good friend from grade school, another one was from high school. Well, we still talked enough. And man, I realized that we just, I couldn't be friends with them anymore. One of them had a problem with alcohol, the other one had a problem with drugs. Turns out the one that had the problem with alcohol also had a pretty bad problem with drugs. Within 12 months of me ending the friendship, they were both dead, which was surprising to me. I believe they both committed suicide. A relative said directly, the guy said it a day before it happened that he was gonna kill himself, or what if I killed myself? The other one, it was different, we'll just say out of respect to their family, but they both look like suicide. I don't think that would have happened to me if I was friends with those 2 dudes, but who you're around yourself with affects you enormously. I've lived in Medellin for the last 10 years, and it's easy in relationships, dating, and sex to have Peter Pan syndrome here. Like I said, what did I call it earlier? I switch them sometimes. Medellin-itis or Miami syndrome, culturally, they have some parallels where it's just the next car or the next girl, whatever, and it's largely, could be fun to an extent, largely and wildly unfulfilling to your heart. as we go in, I guess we're in this new year month. If you're into this whole Chinese calendar thing, I've gotten into it for the first time in my life, and whether it's bullshit or not, I don't think it really matters. What matters is if it's useful. What kind of friendships, what kind of energy do you want around in this next cycle, whether it's 2026 or this shedding the bullshit, the garbage, the parasites, literally or energetically, of what no longer serve you? What do you want to release? What friendships do you want to release? Or what friendships that used to be really close, that are barbecue friendships, which remind me I didn't finish that earlier. Someone maybe you talk to every week, and then you realize I got to start phasing that out. Maybe it warrants an uncomfortable conversation, which can be uncomfortable. I can think of a couple I'm sure I'll be having pretty soon when it's appropriate. And that's someone you see at a barbecue and you talk to him about the sports and stuff on a general level, but you realize they're not the kind of person that you can share your deep growth journey. And if you really want what you want and you're devoted and committed to it, people that will pull you down will steal your dreams. And to be blunt, if they're that toxic, and they might not seem that way, but their energy could be, they need to be cut out like a cancer, or they'll infect you. Who do you want around you, especially for this year? 2026 is an important year. Let's ride.